Welcome to Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the Hang.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we gave
This
you
is Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight, it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson.
What
and
are we going to
Nikki
do
Orta.
first?
Hey, everybody.
Hello, and happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of Jazz and Conversation. I'm Wendy, and this is Nikki, in case you were wondering. And hopefully we have some new people, because since we do somebody new every week, they have fans and, from all over the world, and we hopefully get new people watching. So if you could, that would be really wonderful. Share it on your own page, and that way your friends can watch and their friends can watch, and then we can just have a big old party.
I'm working out a little tech issue here.
Nikki's starting to get beads of sweat running down his
I am. It happens, but hopefully it's something that we will resolve as we go along. Hey, Rafael Valencia says hi. So anyway, let us talk about...
Yeah, so we've got amazing partners that we do this with each and every week. And just, we always like to give a shout out to the Gold Coast Jazz Society at goldcoastjazz.org, the Miami Jazz Cooperative at miamijazz.org, southfloridajazz.org, and of course, Sunshine Jazz Organization, Sunshine Jazz, SJO as I always think of them, but sunshinejazz.org. We've got a couple of events coming up from 2 of our partners, so we're just going to go ahead. The first one we want to let you know about is the Gold Coast Jazz Society Sunday Jazz Jam, which happens, I guess, the last Sunday of every month. And it's really a fantastic thing. It always features student jazz musicians and a quartet led by Nicole Yarling, who is just the world's best, person to guide and support our youth. I mean, she really does amazing things. So she runs that, and you can come and watch it, but there is limited seating. It is socially distanced. Masks are required, and you have to RSVP by March 26th. So you can just go on the website and do that. And it's free and it's outdoors, and so it's really great. It's a really great chance to see professionals and upcoming young musicians. So we want to encourage you all, especially if you live in Lauderdale, Broward, to go up and watch that.
Yep. And here's another spot by another one of our sponsors, a great event you might want to catch.
Hi, everyone. This is Ron Weber. South Florida Jazz presents the astonishing and pianistic and technological talent of Dan Tepfer on Saturday, March the 20th at 8 p.m. as Dan follows the arc of Johann Sebastian Bach and his impact on modern jazz in Bach to the Future. Tickets and information to this live stream concert are available at southfloridajazz.org. That's March 20th at 8 p.m. This will be terrific.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out.
Most certainly.
That's on a virtual thing, so it's all online. So that's really kind of a cool thing. Another way of doing it, keeping safe, as we hope you all are.
Yeah.
We've got an amazing, and I don't know, I always think of him as just innovative and different and interesting and exciting. He's just an exciting young pianist. We had a conversation with somebody the other day about why it's not pianist. because we say piano, but it's pianist.
Yeah,
Why. I don't know why. It just is. But so we are going to hear from Tal Cohen, and we're going to talk to Tal, and because he is such an interesting guy from an interesting background in history, and just a really great piano player. So we're going to go right to him playing.
I think we're going to do that.
So this is one of those times where he recorded himself
just this morning.
Just this morning for us, and so it's almost like you're getting it live, even though it's virtual. But then we will speak to him live,
real live,
really, really live. Okay, so let's sit back and let's listen to Tal Cohen.
Told you about technical difficulties, folks.
Yeah, something weird is going on with when we're playing videos. The sound keeps going schwangy. I don't know if that's
I'm going to work out
or not. So we're going to retry to do this because it's really beautiful, and we don't want it to be weird or twangy or glitchy.
So I think there's an internet thing going on here,
and we are always at the mercy. And you know what's funny is we actually had a sound test with Tal today, and we were complaining about his internet, so he ended up coming over. This is what happens. This is our life on Monday nights. He ended up coming here. He's outside in our patio, set up there so that we can have the best quality of internet that we can. And now all of a sudden we're having issues with our internet, and we're hardwired with like the highest speed you can possibly get, and yet still it's funky.
And we certainly don't want to, have Tal sound. No, I cannot, apparently. I don't want Tal to sound anything but his best. So I'm going to be checking the Wi-Fi things, and hopefully I won't lose you. And if I lose everybody, in the worst case scenario, if I have to make a new room, I will create a new room on Facebook. Okay, Wi-Fi off. I'm going to test this. Hopefully no one else.
How are you going to test it?
Oh, you'll see. I have my ways.
Oh my God, you guys. We're here for your amusement. We're clowns.
We are. I'm just going to try a small thing here and see if it's jittery.
Did you give the guy a drink at least? When? Did you give him a drink?
Sorry, everyone. This is part of the
magic.
The magic.
That sounds better.
You know what I'm wondering?
What?
Thinking, let's do this.
I know that there should be no glitches.
You want to tell a story?
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away,
want to go to Chrome. I want to take care of I think there might be an extension that's messing things up.
What did you do? What did you do?
Well, the real question is, how am I going to get it off? So tell you what, give us 5 minutes, folks, and we're going to be back with you in 5. Don't go. Okay, I think we've got this, folks. I would say turn up your volume, and we're going to take it right back to Tal from the beginning and enjoy the.
Oh my God. It's like the Wayne's World of jazz, right? Right here on Monday nights.
It is the Wayne's World of Jazz.
Okay. We going?
We're going to go.
Yeah.
We're going.
I like to see you sweat too, I have to say.
I know that you do.
It's kind of fun watching.
I know that you do. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Wow.
And there we go. So beautiful.
Amazing set.
Woo!
An amazing
So
set
good.
of music.
Listen, I got to do my shtick before we bring Tal on to talk. We have a tip jar that we set up specifically for the musicians, and all of the money that goes into the tip jar tonight goes directly to our musicians tonight. So please, if you can, we would appreciate so much. Well, Tal would appreciate it so much if we could show him some love. The first $100 will be matched. So that's really exciting. And all you have to do is text the word tip jar to the number 44321. So where you would send your message, you write tip jar, and where you would send the number to, or who you would send it to, is 44321. You end up getting a little text back that is a secure link to be able to, really securely, send some money. There's no limit, or, you can send $5, you can send $100, whatever you can would be fantastic, because, Tal is a working musician and hasn't really been working too much because of this whole thing. And it's been really difficult. And even though it feels like we might be coming out of it, we don't know when it's going to be. It could be 2 months before, 3 months, 4 months. It could be, the fall. So anyway, what we ask, this is like a paying gig for him tonight. This is like how we're trying to help support the musicians. So whatever you can, text the word tip jar to the number 44321. We thank you in advance. And now let's go ahead and talk to the fantastic, fabulous Tal Cohen.
Hey.
How you doing?
It's been one of those days, huh?
It has been one of those days. Thank you guys so much, one, for having me, but second of all, for being so patient and understanding and helpful, because it was one of those days, so you guys
It was just one of those
super
things.
Cool.
It's
exactly.
for us, it's one of those Mondays, because I'm telling you, something always for all intents and purposes, your show should have been super easy. It wasn't really live except for this part, but whenever we just start to relax and think, okay, tonight's going to be easy and smooth, it never is.
Never.
But that's
incredible.
That's jazz for you,
Exactly.
We just take it as it comes and try to make something beauul out of it.
But you guys are so relaxed about it, and it made it like almost kind of funny.
Well, there's nothing funnier than Wendy watching me sweat.
Yeah, that is true.
She really enjoys that.
There you go. Yeah.
So you have such an interesting story. To me, it's interesting because, I've lived here my whole life. I'm from Miami. Nikki pretty much is from Miami, lived here his whole life. You are like a man of the world. Where were you born?
I was born in Israel, and how long ago now? Doesn't matter. I spent 15 years in Israel, and then I moved to Australia when I was 15. But I grew up in Israel, to answer your question. But that's why I have this. And then I moved here 7 years ago or something. It's been now. That's why I have this accent that doesn't match anywhere, and it's just a world accent,
Yeah.
It doesn't really have
an identity.
An identity, yeah.
Right.
Well, I can't wait for the Latin accent to start creeping in. I guess if
another couple of years.
Yeah, another couple of years. You'll get the Miami accent.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. Yeah, but I pretty much grew up in Israel, and then when I was 15, I moved to. Oh yeah, there you go. That's a photo of me and my family.
Beautiful.
This is my two cousins, my brother, and me on the right.
Nice.
Wow.
This is a long time ago. I don't know what the timeline is.
You're not that old, Tal.
Yeah.
Time is relative. Long time ago was a relative thing.
But it's a really. I kind of ask myself, I feel more Israeli than Australian sometimes, and I think it's kind of 50-50, or maybe towards the Australian side a little bit,
And did you grow up in a musical family?
I would say yes. None of them really played professionally, with the exception of my aunt, who was a professional classical pianist. but there was a lot of music around the house and a lot of encouragement for it. It was very much a should we call it a music nurtured home.
Okay, sure.
It wasn't one of those, certain music or anything. Everything when we listened to jazz, a lot of Led Zeppelin, a lot of, and my mom made us a musical. So music was very important. And actually, once you think about it in terms of, without getting too, but the Jewish religion really appreciates music. And I think that's where it comes from, really. There's a lot of music, klezmer, and there's a
Right,
lot of,
absolutely, sure.
it's associated with, with, I suppose it's respected,
Sure.
I suppose that's the right way of putting it, yeah.
Oh, we had this comment during your performance. Maybe you can take this question.
If Ravel was one of your big influences.
Yeah, Ravel is definitely one of my influences, as well as Chopin and many of them, that's another thing. I would like to see what you, as jazz, experts in your field, I'd love to see what you think. Like, we always kind of put classical and jazz to kind of really separate things.
Exactly.
But the harmony is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, Wendy, you would know. Like, you probably sang like at some point of your career, you probably like dove into a bit of like classical music. And same goes to you, Nikki.
Yeah. Well, Nikki is definitely more of the classical aficionado than I am. I did have to sing some classical in college.
There you go.
But you actually, he fell in love with Delius. Sorry,
yes,
say
that's
it
quite all right. Yeah, I mean, I did discover at some point that really from the Impressionists and the English composers at that time, the jazz influence is. I mean, it worked both ways too, because really harmonically, it was the European thing was quite more sophisticated than what was happening here. But then when they all got in touch, that magic happened. But yeah, there's definitely similarities. You'll hear those heavy, upper structure chords. They're just not used like 2-5-1s. Or it's fascinating to hear.
I think it's like one of these things that we kind of have to break the barrier now, like of like, oh, classical is this, and I get a lot of questions sometimes saying like, how do you put them together and all that, and you don't really need to. They're already together,
Right. I guess
that's the way I look at it.
At this point, it's kind of more of a rhythmic thing.
Like a feel thing,
yeah.
That's what it is.
That would be the biggest difference.
So here, I want to bring this picture in because I like that you actually titled this picture, "My Dad Looking Like Me."
Not you looking like him. Yeah.
It's you definitely have that going.
That's it. That's my dad. I think this is from where he was in. I don't know, but I think this looks like when he was, maybe. I don't know exactly how old he is there, but he was living in a kibbutz. Do people, do you know what that is?
Yes.
And he's kind of moved away from that. I don't know exactly if that's. I don't know if he's still there or if this is when he already kind of moved away. But he certainly has that vibe.
Did your whole family move to Australia?
So my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister, my 2 cousins, and my aunt. And later, we started the big, very big, process of moving my grandma. And we did. She's been in Australia for 12 months.
Oh, wow.
12 years. I'm very bad with the years. Must be like close to 15 years now she's been there. But yeah, only that. If you wanted to move your whole Jewish family to Australia, you'll have to move the whole country. It's not. Everyone is related in some kind of way.
Right.
So.
And when did you start playing piano?
I was again very young, 4 or 5. I don't know. Very, very young, and again, it's credit to my mom. She was always like, music is important, and you should do this, and it certainly came from her.
And you took lessons right away at that age?
Yeah. I was playing xylophone terribly. I didn't like it. I sucked at it. It wasn't my thing. And then when the piano kind of came, it's not one of those stories that I fell in love with it
Right.
at first sight. It's not one of those things. How was it? How was for you guys? Like when you started singing, did you like straight away like kind of fall in love with it, or?
I think I was always a natural performer,
Okay.
so I love music, but then I was doing theater, and I just liked, I guess, and in my personality too, I like to entertain people all the time, so it kind of made sense for me. I think when I figured out, I actually started off playing in the band in junior high school, playing the trumpet. And so I was doing that for a while. And then when I realized I could sing, I was like, this is so easy. Like, it just felt so natural. And I just never kind of looked back from there. But, so I guess, yes, the answer is yes. But
Yeah, right.
And you too. I mean, you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did grow up in a musical household. My father was a musician. And then my brother started, when he was like 7 years old.
Really? Wow.
And then I dabbled in a couple of instruments. I tried guitar because my father was a guitarist. I didn't take to it. I don't think I ever really tried piano, even though that was the thing that would have been the most accessible. But when I got a bass guitar, I knew it immediately. I was locking myself in the room for 12 hours at a time, taking things out by ear for as long as I could. Yeah. So yeah.
That's why it's when you guys, Nikki, when you play, and Wendy when you sing, it's a very natural thing for you, right? Like it's, I can't say that it was that like when I first started out, it was very much like, oh, you got to do this,
Right.
And then when you get to a later age, I was like, I love this,
Yeah.
And then it kind of became, by later age, I mean, it's 8,
Yeah.
But when I first started, I can't honestly say that I was like, oh my God, it felt like a chore at first,
Yeah, I
That's
think at that age too, because at that age you do it because you just want to have fun doing it. You just want to like slam on the keys and and so when you have to practice a specific thing, or you have to practice, that's not fun all of a sudden. And it really doesn't become fun until you feel like you're making music.
Right.
And that takes couple years, like to really feel like you can make music with it.
But you know what the most interesting thing is about this, and this is kind of a deep conversation. We're going a little off topic, but it's really cool. Is what it is? You learn all these things about music, right? You become this, you absorb so much knowledge, and then you try to look for that kid that just slammed keys.
Yes, that is true.
With all this knowledge, you try to, and that's kind of what I tried to do in that set. I don't know if I achieved it. Maybe I did. I wanted it to be like a very spontaneous kind of flowing thing, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we all try to do. Like we all try to kind of close our eyes and like channel something else, right? Like with, that's why like when we listen to, someone that we love playing a ballad, it takes us to that place.
Right.
It's not technical, or it's not. It's not in the head,
right.
I mean, it's not analytical.
Right.
No one wants to listen to something that sounds analytical, right? We know that. But you've learned all these things, and now you have to kind of let it go.
Right.
And kind of like go back to the child that was like bashing the keys, but now you're doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is very hard.
That's the thing. You think it'd be easy, but it's not.
It's not.
Because we, it's the funny thing. It's like this, in the one hand, we want to sound good. We want it to be perfect. We want it to be, like everything that we've practiced for. Yeah. But at the same time, we want it to be free. And if we're worried about it, it can't be free. If we're worried about what it sounds like, and that's the hardest thing I tell my students. You cannot care what it sounds like. You just have to let it go. Yeah. Chances are it's going to sound good if you let it go, but but it's the hardest thing, that letting go, that jumping off.
It's like this circle that you're kind of stuck in. I got to let go, and then you're worried about letting go, and then you're not letting go of letting go.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough. But the more I think about it, and the more I kind of I really do understand that it's one of the most important things. It really is. You can learn all these things. You can become, you can hear all these things, and you can hear all these upper structures. But if they're like, preconceived when you're playing them. They're gonna sound preconceived,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a really tough thing to do, and we all, you know, I'm still searching for it, and as I know a lot of musicians are, you know, and
well, that is the hardest thing to do. I mean, to end up sounding like yourself.
yeah, that's,
I mean, because you do have to learn the vocabulary one way or the other, whether you do it academically or you just are an ear player and you just listen to everybody.
Yeah.
But you start getting the language, and then you know. But how many of us, you know, are going to be Shakespeare? You know, just because we know the words.
Right.
You know, to put them together in that magical way is the hard part.
There's this video of Errol Garner online, you know, and it's this thing, and he's just kind of painting, and it's got this. It's just like the most amazing thing. It sounds like a kid playing, hitting all these amazing things. It's just an unbelievable level of mastery and, you know, and like flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of flowing, hitting it, and the bass player's like looking around, like it's the most amazing thing. And there's a guy that's in my opinion, people say he couldn't read, but man, he's playing all this classical harmony and all this. It's just totally in his like arsenal, should we say? It's totally in his tools, and he pulls it out exactly at the right moment. It's just like this level of mastery, and it swings so hard, and the rhythm is just everything put together. And people say this is the other thing that always like always, I wouldn't say I have an issue with, but always interests me. Let's call it that. Like they say that it's inside. Man, he is playing the most out, but it sounds so like it's tied into all these other things. And it just makes total sense. Is it inside? If you actually looked at what it's doing, we're talking about 1940s. Correct me if I'm wrong, Errol Garner.
Yeah.
1930s, 40s,
40s,
40s, 50s, and it's the most, you know. And he's playing like the most advanced harmony stuff that later people kind of like were like, oh wow, he was doing it already, you know. So was Art Tatum, so was those guys. But they're tying it in a way that's just so like majestic, seamless, you know.
And plus, I mean, the truth of the matter is that, you know, there's a subjective element, who you like or you don't like, because you know, because you get a monk. You know, or you did mention Art Tatum. I mean, they're stylistically so different, but you know it's them.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a stamp
when you hear it. I mean, and for the more modern, you know, era, the Herbie Hancocks and Chick Coreas and Keith Jarrett's, and, you know, that's really hard to do.
And well, the other funny thing that you mentioned, you know, that he was, you know, maybe some people look down on him because he didn't read or you know, whatever. But it's so funny that that is like the least important thing. I mean, being a good musician and being musical, you know, like I guess being a good musician could be many things. Is that you have the knowledge of music, or that you're able to?
You could be a great technician.
Yeah,
you could be.
I mean, there's so many different things, but the one thing you really can't teach is how to be musical. You know, like that is something,
feeling, that flow that
is going to come from inside, and maybe, you know, and then what you take from the outside world and send back out.
So Tal, you mentioned all these names. Like, who were your first influences then?
On the piano, especially.
On piano.
I mean, you know, I absolutely love Bill Evans. I love the sense of harmony and the classical touch. Yeah. And I did all these transcriptions of his, and I tried to do it. And at some point, I had to say, I'm not going to sound like him, you know.
And what would be the point of sounding like him to it? You know,
I mean, the best compliment you're ever going to get is going to be like, man, you really sound like Bill Evans. You know? You know? I mean, but I have to give some credit to you guys. Wendy, I can tell your voice from like 2 notes, like, oh, you know, 2 phrases. I know it's you. I know your vibe. I know like your uplifting kind of, you know, like entertaining kind of vibe, and the way you kind of sing the blues. I know it's you. And that's credit to you, because I can say that it's you. And Nikki, I don't think anyone can play bebop on the bass like you. I don't think anyone can do it. I haven't heard anyone play bebop like that. Yeah, you know, I don't think anyone has done that. It's a real like thing, you know.
Well,
so you know, but we're all searching for that, like, this thing that we can do, and I'm still searching for it, like
Yeah.
the classical elements and the Jewish kind of elements that I put in, and maybe right now when I'm doing it, they're kind of like, oh, what is that, But eventually there'll be that Errol Garner thing when they're flowing,
Right.
like out of me, It's not there yet, but I'm
Right.
trying,
But,
Hey,
but
let me-
you have moments of that, don't you? I mean, you feel it. I mean, I feel like when I watch you, I mean, there's definitely, like whether you feel like you're successful, for a
Right.
full night, but I mean, there's moments of it that you
Oh,
can
of course,
feel
yeah.
that the
Yeah,
flow
yeah.
is happening, and
I mean,
yeah.
I was listening to that set, and it did take me somewhere, like I was listening to it, closing my eyes, like, wow, that's I'm searching for it, and
You can live
there's
with it. Yeah.
I can live. There's also a few moments when I find myself like playing an idea, and then I'm like kind of, like it's really like that kind of trying to get in the flow, but it's that search that makes it interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm searching
Right.
for it,
Yeah.
and that's what kind of gives it the spark, right?
Right.
Like, it's like when you listen to Coltrane, he's doing all this stuff, and I always get this feeling like with Coltrane, is he gonna make it?
Yeah.
Is he gonna survive this gig? Like,
Right.
but then he does, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And then the next time, he gives me that same feeling,
Right.
And I
Yeah,
love
there's
that.
there's always a freshness to it.
Well, you mentioned the Jewish element in your music. There, you did send 2 videos to me, and
Yeah.
one of them is, I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce it right, but Siporet?
Siporet, yeah.
Siporet. I
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
accent
There you go.
wrong.
The accents are, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about the song. I thought maybe we could play that now. It might be a
Yeah,
good time
sure.
to let
So-
them hear that element.
This is a kind of Jewish, kind of traditional Jewish melody that I put into like a trio format, like you can call it modern jazz trio format. And it's with 2 of my favorite musicians, Dion Kerr and David Chiverton, and they're kind of my trio around here.
Mhm.
And we've just been playing so many times, and we recorded, and I have such, there's no ego, and there's just, they're totally different. Shiv comes from kind of like a church kind of gospel thing, but it swings
Yeah.
also, and and Dion, he can kind of, to me, he's just like there's no ego about him, like he's just there for the ride, and he's such a great melodic musical bass player, and
Right.
and we just really enjoy making music together. And I brought it to him, and I was like, and I was like, these guys are so different. Let's put a Jewish tune in here and see what happens. It's got an odd time feel, and it's kind of a different thing, and it plays on the rhythmical aspect of that, and it's just fun.
Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow.
That's something.
Hey,
That is
that's
so
something.
fun.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a journey right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama there, isn't there?
Yeah,
A
but
lot
so
of ups and
good.
downs.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that's one of those Jewish myths. That's it. Still
Yep.
searching. So yeah, that's
Awesome. Let's see.
That's
We
it.
have Giselle's sending claps, of course. That was awesome. So we have a bunch of pictures here. Maybe you can talk about them as they come up.
Oh, this is from the Perth Jazz Festival in 20. I don't even. Man, 2010 or 2011. This is with Joe Lovano. That's Joe Lovano in the middle. And we played quartet with him. Those like 3 acts, so that's why there's a lot of. But these are some of the best Australian musicians on stage. I see Ben Vanderwall and Sam Anning, and
Nice.
anyway, a mixture of people. But that's just a cool moment with Joe Lovano.
Yeah.
Very cool. And that's 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So you'd have been like, what, 5 or 6 years old?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
In fact, I think I was still in it. No. This is with we go to Guatemala once a year to do this. The Israeli embassy actually flies me every day, once a year to do this concert. And this is a great drummer that used to live here. Nikki, you probably know him, and Wendy, you too.
Yeah.
Carl Swan.
Oh, I loved him. I love the way he plays.
Swinging.
Yeah.
And he knew, all these guys, they take the time to check out your music and they memorize it. And this was a lot of fun too in Guatemala. This was the same tour. This is a workshop in Guatemala. You can see the Israeli, the menorah, the lamp.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see it on the, this is from the workshop. It's kind of funny because you guys probably know no one speaks English. So there's a translator somewhere here, not on here. But you speak for music anyway,
Right.
You know how it is,
And
That's recently. This is with one of my mentors and one of my favorite musicians in the world, Greg Osby,
nice.
who used to play, Herbie, and he's a legend,
Yeah.
And he kind of opened up my mind. I grew up listening to him, and then to play with him is a dream come true. This is from, believe it or not, the Ukraine.
Oh.
And, that's also from the Ukraine. That's a TV show that we did broadcasted this in the studio. We played a little bit. You can see the piano there, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because Ukraine has a big tie to, all that area is very tied to Israel. It's a huge, historically. So it's kind of cool to go to the places, Poland, Ukraine.
Sure.
It means a lot to me.
I'm liking this sketch here. This is really cool.
Oh yeah. I thought I'll include that. This is from Kiev in the Ukraine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
amazing.
Oh, that was just before things shut down. It's just 2019.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I literally came back from there. I had a tour in China with John Daversa in October, and this was in September. And in China, I think I might have been the last person to go into China. I'm kidding.
You're the one who brought it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Asian Zero over here. Asian Zero over here.
That's wrong.
No. But let's get off that topic for a second.
Yes, so I'm just going to go right on here. We have more.
Yeah. This is in Australia.
Beautiful.
Man, this must be 2006 or something. We're talking really. I know I look the same, but it's just the hair giving you that kind of.
Well, that's a really slick way to hide your age, though. Of course, when you get my age, then the hair doesn't come out anymore.
Right.
But you have a while to go.
I'm holding on to it as long as I can.
I know.
So going.
Enjoy it while you can.
This is from a tour. Obviously, the day after the tour or something like that, or before the gig. This is from Tasmania.
Wow. It's beautiful.
This is off the mainland Australia. This is from Tasmania. Tasmania, for those who don't know, it's a part of Australia. It feels like Australia when you're there. The climate's very different. It's colder.
Right.
And here's a bit of trivia that's totally unrelated to music. Is it's off the mainland. You have to catch a plane there. You can't drive there.
Okay.
It's off the mainland, and obviously that's where the Tasmanian Devil is from. And you know,
Yes.
you know Bugs Bunny. The
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Taz, they call him Taz, right?
He's the one.
This is the thing, though. He's kind of fast on the show, but it's a very slow animal. It's really, really slow. In fact, they're so slow that they learned how to feed on bones and all that because they're the last one to get to the to the the dead animal,
the prey,
the prey. So they learn how to feed. They're one of the only animals that can like feed on bones.
Wow!
That's ladies and gentlemen, you learned that from Tal Cohen. Tal Cohen here on Jazz and Conversation.
And also, they walk on all fours, and he walks. Like, look, I'm not going to sue. Where it was, I'm going to let it go. Okay.
Very nice.
Let it go.
But,
that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a really cool. This is a really cool thing. This is from the Detroit Jazz Festival. I was fortunate enough to be the Barry Harris winner in 2016 or 2015, and the prize was to play the Detroit Jazz Festival with. That's I don't know if you know that, Nicky, but this is Rob Hurst.
Yeah, I met him.
The great Robert Hurst on bass. And I know him. We toured in Australia also, and I thought it would be amazing to. He's in Detroit, and he was, so we got to do a concert there, and it was a great concert, sold out. It's such a great festival. It's such, and it's all free.
We've been trying to go
every year. We have it. Mike Harvey goes, and we keep saying, okay, this year we're going to go, and then something comes up and we can't go. But if it happens this year, we are going.
Yeah, it's such a cool festival.
I've heard
it's all free.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing.
You don't need to buy tickets or anything. You just got to get it.
Incredible.
It's such a cool festival. It's such a cool vibe. It's fun.
And it's a real jazz festival. It's not one of those. It's jazz.
Yeah.
Right.
The jazz festival is parading as something else.
The only jazz is in it is the title, the word in the title.
Yeah, you nailed it, Wendy. It's a real jazz festival. They bring Wayne Shorter and Pharoah Sanders, Ron Carter, all in the same year.
Yes.
It's like literally a festival of people who could be headliners in other festivals, but they're all there, It's just super cool.
Amazing.
I want you to tell me what Shiverton is thinking here.
This is another really cool thing. This is kind of like a homage to my time in Miami, because that's the great John DeVersa there.
Yeah.
And he plays with us a lot, and man, what a spirit of a human being. And and this was like something backstage. I don't even know. This is this looks like
it looks like a UM.
Yeah,
it looks like a jazz forum thing that we play
for sure.
Yeah. And it's just a funny photo. But I just want to say on this note, like, Miami has done. There's so many great musicians there, just like you guys, and I mean, I'm saying kind of just like you guys, but each one of you is like a world of music, So I'm not glazing over it, There's just so many musicians here, like, John DeVersa and Federico Britos and Ignacio Baroa that I've been playing with for a long time, and it's an endless name, and they all have their own thing, and this is it. I learned so much here,
Yeah. I feel like in a weird way, because Miami is not New York or Chicago or LA, and we're known for, I don't think people realize the depth of musicians that are here. And, a lot of it is because, or maybe mostly is because of U of M. And a lot of people end up staying here after they graduate. But it's like deep, it's not like 5 great piano players. It's, 15 and it's like, and it's just a really, really deep, pool of musicians that you could play with at any given time.
Amazing.
We got some of them watching tonight. We got Lindsay Blair on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course,
Lindsay.
we have Gary Lindsay's on as well.
Yeah.
We got all our Lindsays.
We won't be able to name all of them, but there's such like pockets of like you get Armando Gola, who's crazy rhythmic, and then Nicky Horta that plays like crazy bebop on the bass, and no one, it's like every time it gets to a solo, everyone is like, can we please making the last one because he's gonna take the best one. You know,
Not the post-COVID Nikki. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, no.
The post-COVID Nikki is playing whole notes.
Right. But there's all these
Ooh,
like
thank
pockets.
goodness.
There's all these. There's all these pockets, and then there's Nikki Yarling, who's a wall
Yeah.
of music.
She's my
You
favorite.
know, soulful and just everything. And John Yarling, who's got crazy imagination.
Yes,
and you know,
yes. That's
and
true.
Carol Ann, who gets, you know, like
Yeah.
sings all these old songs
Yeah.
that we won't go into it, but there's
Yeah,
so
we have
many.
depth
And
here.
then the
Yeah.
younger generation, like Alex White, who used to be
Yeah.
here, a great saxophone player, and Ashley Pizzordi,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are making a name right now. You know,
Right.
there's everything here, and I feel like people don't know about it, you know, but then they
Yeah.
come down here and they, you know, see it, and, you know,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and people are kind of like, wait, what? You know?
Isn't this just for parties and dancing? And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and DJs and
Yeah.
DJs.
Right.
And South
Exactly.
Beach and you
That's
know
true.
all that, but it's not, you know.
Right.
And we'll unfortunately lost Le Chat Noir. You guys know,
I know.
It's
I
unbelievable.
know. It's so sad.
you know. So we need more venues to play, and that's why it goes back to this right here, this
Yeah.
thing that we're doing right now, which is very important. Thanks to
Yeah.
everyone involved and Rick Katz and everyone for keeping this alive. But there's music in Miami, and it's
Yeah.
here. It's here. It exists, and it's
It
not
does.
just Latin music. There's heaps of that going on and amazing
Right.
musicians doing that. But there's also jazz here. There's also,
Yeah.
you know, swinging, you know, serious stuff here.
Creativity,
Yeah.
period.
Creativity,
I mean,
you
that's,
know.
I'm going to bring
So-
up I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That photo was a tribute to that, you could say. You
For
know?
sure.
Yeah.
We have a few more photos of colleagues and mentors.
Yeah.
Felipe.
That was, I think, one of the first gigs. Felipe was the first guy that got me to do a gig. He held me somewhere and he goes, "Hey, man, you want to do a gig?" And it just meant a lot to me because, you know, Felipe is such a nice guy, amazing
Yeah.
musician, and he's kind of a gentle giant, you know.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, you want to do a gig?" And I was like, "Really?" It was like my second day here or something. And I said,
Right.
"Man, I don't even have a car. I don't know how to get there. And I'll pick you up and sort it out."
Yeah.
That was a very warm thing, and it means a lot to me. So I thought,
Yeah.
And speaking of Le Chat,
there you go. I had to include that there. You know?
absolutely.
I've had such a great time playing with Ignacio at La Chat, and so
Yeah.
much amazing music went down there. And it
And-
happens,
yes.
it disappears. You know?
Yeah.
I know. And they were the owners were so
Oh my
loyal.
God, what a-
Ezio.
what-
They were just,
Ezio
they were
and
just
others.
wonderful.
They still are.
They
They
still
still
are.
are.
Yeah.
They are.
And-
I mean, they did it right.
Yeah.
They did
For
it right.
sure.
That is true.
And, you
yeah.
know, and
Yep.
Ignacio Balboa, I mean, we all know him.
Wonderful
He-
player. Wonderful
He was
guy.
here.
Great spirit.
He had a big history with you know, Dizzy Gillespie and
Oh yeah, he was a
many
hoot on the
others.
show.
Exactly. And I learned so much from Miami, you know, and I just wanted to include that in there, you know.
For sure.
You know, Gonzalo,
Yeah.
this is from UM, and we got to play a little bit together. But this is really the Tal Cohen show, isn't it? It's kind of
It is.
blending
It
right
is the
now.
Tal Cohen show.
This is your life, Tal.
Oh, Tal
Yeah.
Cohen was a little exhausted in this picture, though.
Yeah, this is from an Australian tour with another mentor of mine, really amazing saxophone player. It's kind of like representing Australia. This is Jamie
I love his
Alders.
face.
My good friend Jamie Alders is in the airport. He caught me when he caught me. He caught me, you know.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
he got you
sleeping.
good.
This is at the lounge at the airport somewhere, and he got me. But he's an amazing saxophone player, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. You know,
Very
you know,
cool.
you know those guys that really support you and like
Mhm.
kind of a pillar for you, and,
Yeah.
and like taught you everything that you know, and
Yeah.
such a great player and such a unique voice, and his heart is always with originality. And anyway, that's Jamie.
Cool.
Alders.
That's the best thing about playing with musicians
Yeah,
that don't have ego. It's really so much about the music, and you end up getting to soak
nailed
up
it.
everything.
you nailed it. You nailed
You
it.
just
This is a really nerve-wracking moment for me, and I kind of wish I could have this gig back because I know I could do a lot better. But this is at the Grammy Museum.
yeah.
This is maybe 3 months after I got here. Terrence I was studying with him at the time, and he kind of was like, "Hey, man, you want to do a gig?" And I was like, "No, really?" You know, like I got picked up in like a Hammer Jeep is that what they're called? And they put me in the Carlton Ritz at the top floor, and there was like a jacuzzi there, and
Nice.
it was the walks, you know. And like, just picture it. I just moved from Australia. I didn't really know what was going on. 3 months later, or 5 months later, I get the call to do this with Terence Blanchard, at the Grammy Museum.
Amazing.
And so after those 3 days, I went back to my efficiency. Don't get the wrong idea. I went back to normal. But those 3 days were like kind of amazing. Like experience. And inspiring.
So are you seeing this from Gary Lindsay?
He wants to make sure that that the one is from Paula.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Have you found the one yet? Is what they asked for. You don't have to answer that. We
still
do
searching. Still searching. I mean, you mean a girlfriend? Is that what I'm saying?
I'm not. We assume that you know what she's talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Or
maybe I do hope so. I do hope so. I am. Yeah, something going on. So I hope.
And one more shot to close out the segment with your photos.
Oh yeah, this
Michael
is again.
Pyle's a great drummer. Love his playing.
And that's Leon Foster Thomas.
Yeah, another amazing musician.
And these are my last album is entitled Gentle Giants, and these are 2 gentle giants there. For those who know Mike, they're like, this is from London. We played at the Pizza Express, which is such a cool place.
Right.
And it's one of the pillars of jazz in London, I suppose.
Yep.
And
we can. Go ahead.
And we were just like traveling around, and I look like my beard is out of control there, but we were just traveling around looking for specifically pho, like Vietnamese pho.
Okay.
And I don't think we're all like kind of hungry in this photo, and I think we were kind of let's just take a photo, and we did. And here it is,
And we want people to know that if they can go to your website, talcohenmusic.com, and that's where they could find your music, right?
Yeah, there's everything there. Some videos, and you can send me an email through there, or whatever you need to do. But yeah, there's more about Tal Cohen over there.
Right.
In case you haven't gotten enough of Tal Cohen tonight.
Today. Yeah.
You can see like an old ancient 2019 performance calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly,
right.
exactly.
Oh my God.
1 in 21, open stage interview. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Miami Co-op. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. Go check it out. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And so, what do you have coming up? Are you working on? A record? Are you doing like the COVID, solo recordings or something? Or
it was actually really maybe I don't want to talk about it too much, but it was a really hard. I went back to Australia in March, and Australia handled COVID very strictly.
Yes.
So it was very open. Everything was open because every time they have like one case, the whole country shuts down.
Right.
They're like very aggressive with the shutdown. So anyway, after 2 months of no cases or something, the country opened back up. So I went in March, and in July, everything was open. The Perth Jazz Festival went ahead, and I was there.
Oh, wow.
So was Linda O and Fabian Almazan. They left from New York to there. And so all of us were there, and we headlined the Perth Jazz Festival. So
nice.
from March, it felt like I didn't stop. I was there playing, touring, playing. Craig, my good friend from Australia, Craig, he put, I was searching, he goes, you definitely hit it at the Ellington. He's talking about the Ellington Jazz Club from Australia.
Okay.
And back a few months ago, because I was playing there, and it was a great crowd. And so that's what he's talking about, for those who don't know. So the interesting thing is that it felt like I didn't stop. I was just over there playing.
Right.
And then I came back to Miami and kind of had to start dealing with, like life, like my car was dead, all those kind of life things, my apartment, So I came back, and Miami was open. I was playing, but then kind of I started noticing that Churchill's is not operating anymore, and Corner and Tavolino's.
Yeah.
Right.
Nikki, you used to play there quite a lot. You used to play there a little bit too. Wendy, did you ever play there?
Everyone. Yeah.
That's kind of not happening anymore.
Yeah.
And the shot, of course, and of course, open stage.
Right.
So I was kind of back, and I was kind of playing, and then it kind of hit me that, oh wait, this is different, And then places started opening up. So to answer your question, I'm not kind of the guy that is comfortable putting things online. It's not really me. Even when I put things online, I don't really know what to write.
You feel dirty about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you nailed it. It's like I'm committing a sin, you know. But anyway, I was like, I'm more of a live guy. I like playing live.
Yeah.
I like the
Right.
energy. So it's something we all had to kind of get adjusted to. You know, it was really hard for me. I can't
Yeah.
say, you know, there's other people that started doing live streams, and man, it was so
Right.
easy for them. And, you know, and I don't know, but you know, I'm happy where I am now. I have plans. Those things getting booked. And
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to have some work here, and I did a CD, and it's going to come out soon. And
Oh, good.
I have a
Nice.
gig at the Arts Garage booked on the 2nd of May.
Okay.
There you go.
And I love playing there, and you know, so things are coming back up. I'm looking to book more things at Europe, which reminds me, you guys were there before all this went down, right?
We were supposed to go in May, and we never got there. So,
But you were in like the Czech Republic or something, like you did
Norway.
something. Norway.
But we last year we did go
That's
to
right.
The Czech Republic.
That's
but
right.
that was kind of vacationing.
Yes,
but
I
it
remember
was
that.
and we did meet up with a friend of ours that we had seen in Norway who happened to be playing at a jazz club. Where were we?
in Prague.
In Prague.
Yeah.
It was a great jazz club on the water in Prague, and we met somebody in Norway the week before.
Who was from Germany.
Who was from Germany.
From
vibe
America,
with us.
yeah.
And he was, turns out he was playing there the day that we got in, and so we got to hang out. And
So,
we'll talk about an exciting city.
oh,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing.
yeah.
But anyway, it was hard for me. I'm not like doing live stream and all that is not, it's not, you know, it's not natural for me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something
Yeah.
I really have to get adjusted to. And even when
Yeah.
I do like a video, you know,
Well,
I'm getting more used to it.
Oh, so that's why it took you so long to get the video to me.
There you go.
But
Okay.
You
you
cracked
know
the
what?
code.
The thing is the thing about music is it really it doesn't happen in a vacuum, you know. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it can, you know, there's the whole solo thing, but really part of the beauty, especially of jazz, is that you are getting feedback from the audience, people listening. And even I have found, you know, we do a lot of stuff online doing the show every week, but you know, when we do the live thing at Stephen Giselle's house at the Jazzport, it's such a different thing just having live music go into your ears, not being
The
filtered
energy
through a
is different.
screen. It's just wow, it's
And there's only like 10 people there, but the energy is different.
yeah,
is. Well,
it's a hard thing.
we do have a second set from Tal.
Yes, we do.
Which we thank you so much for you know, being our guest and for putting together these sets, which are, you know, spectacular.
And thanks for talking about, you know, your history, because the greatest thing about the show that I complain about it all the time, but it's so interesting. We know all these musicians. We've known them for years. We don't really know them. So we get to sit down and see pictures of you when you were little and learn who influenced you and when you started playing. And I find it fascinating.
You're even more fascinating than we thought.
Awesome. I'm glad it turned out. I honestly thought I'm pretty fascinating, but now I know I am. You know. So,
Now you have validation.
yeah.
Well, on that note, let's catch the second fascinating set by the fascinating
Tal Cohen.
All right. Wow.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Awesome stuff.
All right, we're gonna have to talk to your editor, though. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, right. Cuts a little L in a.
Mhm.
Inelegant, as Nikki would
Mhm.
usually says, but beautiful, man, just beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah. Very, very good stuff, Tal.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so I played one of my songs, which is a tribute. This is kind of funny that it walked out that way. So the first song there is a tribute to Cedar Walton. It's Cedar Walton has kind of a way of creating, like, like if you look at Bolivia or Fantasy in D or many of them, those are just two, but like Fam Roots, all those tunes kind of have like a vamp and then a melody,
Right.
and he has kind of a way of doing that. And I was like, how about I just vamp on something and then do a melody? But every time I do it, it comes out like way more Jewish. So I entitled that song "Cedar Meets the Jews."
Well done.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then I kind of played a little bit of an interlude, and went on to play one of Chick Corea's children's songs. I think this is not number 6 or something like that. They don't have any names, just numbers. They're like little etudes, and I highly recommend them. But beyond that, they all have like a taste of Chick in them.
Yeah.
It's like little like oh yeah, Chick does that. Oh yeah, he does do that. Oh, yeah. It's all like a kind of like a Chick Corea-ism in a song,
Right.
And obviously we lost one of the greats,
For sure.
and I just had to play something of him, that was it.
Beautifully done. I got Gager in the house.
Gage is in the house. Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Only one of the best piano players in town.
For sure.
Yeah. Man, it was so great to talk to you. I thank you so much for doing the show and taking the time and recording yourself playing for us and sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. It's so cool to be here, and you guys got such a cool vibe when you do this, and it's so easy to talk to you guys and all the good things. But more than that, though, it was one of those days, and I'm really happy it was one of those days with you guys. You know what I mean? Because you guys really helped making it like one of those days, but easier. So
right.
I'm
Well,
really
we mentioned
glad.
we mentioned Shakespeare before. All's well that ends well.
That's true. That is true.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway,
There you go.
Tal, thank you so much, and we hope all of you out there enjoyed it as much as we did. The great.
And go to his website. Check out more of his music. We've got Tal Cohen Music.
One more time here.
Look at you! Look at you!
Awesome.
Look at you go! Yeah.
Yeah. Check out his music. There's all sorts of videos, information, and of course, once there's gigs opening up, that's the place to find out where he'll be.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
you so much.
We'll talk to you super soon.
Tal Cohen.
Oh, that was so great. Loved learning about him. His music is so beautiful.
Yeah, I cut him off at the end.
I know.
See that?
I know. You did the editing of the video.
I did. I think it was me. Yeah.
Anyway, it's another Monday night in the can,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yes. Wow.
Thank you for joining us. It was so much fun learning about everything. Want to thank our partners in Jazz and Conversation, which is the sunshinejazz.org, which is the Sunshine Jazz organization. I don't know why I always stumble on that because I think of SJO. Sunshine Jazz Organization. We've got the Miami Jazz Cooperative, Gold Coast Jazz. .org, which the last Sunday of the month that's coming up, they're going to have their Sunday Jazz Jam. So go check that out. It's a fantastic thing to do. You can find that on their website, goldcoastjazz.org. And we've also want to thank South Florida Jazz. And they have their concert coming up this Saturday. So you definitely want to check that out. You are going to go to southfloridajazz.org.
Yeah, give this a listen. Here's some info on it.
Hi, everyone. This is Ron Weber. South Florida Jazz presents the astonishing and pianistic and technological talent of Dan Tepfer on Saturday, March the 20th at 8 p.m. as Dan follows the arc of Johann Sebastian Bach and his impact on modern jazz in Bach to the Future. Tickets and information to this live stream concert are available at southfloridajazz.org. That's March 20th at 8 p.m. This will be terrific.
And that kind of ties in with what we were discussing with Tal earlier in the night about how classical and jazz, harmony are one of the same. So that should be really interesting to see how he kind of ties Bach into jazz and the like. So definitely check that out. And that is going to be this Saturday night on the 20th. Next week, we've got a tribute to Tal Cohen. So you want to, this should be a really fascinating show. He was a legendary trumpeter and band leader. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. There's lots of good stories to be heard. So definitely check in for that. And then our last, it's hard to believe it's already going to be the last Monday of March, but we've got one of my favorite singers and people, Michelle Amato, with the wonderful pianist Per Danielson, and we will be doing that live in Orlando. We're gonna schlep our stuff up there and record them live. So that's going to be really exciting because I get to hear live music and live singing, and it's so exciting. So that's what's coming up. We thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we thank Tal Cohen and for performing for us. And we hope to see you again next week. Please like, share, and come back.
See you next Monday.
Have a good night.
Good night.